Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone today to our 31st meeting. How about that? 31st. Talk about progress.
Time goes by.
Time does go by. Well, thank all of you for being here again. We have a long agenda, so we're going to try to get this thing moving. I know there's a couple of you that have to leave, so we want to get through the agenda, and we have some important votes. So without further ado, I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next order of business is the approval of the minutes. You've received this in an email format. If you've had a chance to review and have any changes, we'll entertain those now. Any problems with the minutes? If not, I'll need a motion to adopt the minutes. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Strategic work of the authority. We're going to begin with some reports and first order of business. We're good with time, Glenn.
Okay.
Yep, we're good. Lindsay's good. She's good. Okay. We're going to stay on format.
We do want to mention that Mr. Hemingway is ill, and we wish him
Yes,
well, and he's likely watching us now, so we want to send our regards and best wishes for a speedy
Bill,
recovery.
we miss you. We love you. Get well. We will do your work.
No, Bill, I'm loving your seat.
Okay, first report will be Beth. Beth, thank you for being with us today. Beth Purcell. She's going to give us a report on the National Night Out. Beth, the floor is yours.
And we're going to start it off, we're going to show you a quick little video.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Glenn. Beth?
Well, on behalf of Chief Yanero and everybody at Public Safety, we just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to give you a brief report today. We feel that it was our most successful National Night Out ever, our 16th year here in Jacksonville. We were blessed with perfect weather, and I think it made up for last year and all the rain that we had. We estimate that we met and talked with 12,000 people in the 4-hour period for National Night Out. It was a very, very well-attended event. We had over 100 vendors and displays. We also did something different, providing an opportunity for others that are funded by the authority to have a space to promote their event. We had folks from the Shrimp Festival out there, Haunted Downtown, so others that do work with the authority were given some time and space at National Night Out, and that worked out wonderfully. For the second year in a row, we had our 5K race the Saturday before, Running with the Law, over in the Jacksonville Commons area. We did very well considering the poor weather we had that day. We had a torrential downpour, but we still had over 100 runners come out. Most of them were pre-registered for the event and came out. We are looking at including a training event for next year to bring other regional police departments to our city to promote community policing and look at why our National Night Out is such a success. I'd be happy to answer any questions that the authority may have.
Beth, as part of that, would it be like a 2-day event where they may stay the night?
We would look at trying to do something like that, bring in a regional training so that they could come in and spend the night and have the training and stay with us.
That's right up our alley,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions, board member? Comments? It was a great evening, and you can't miss Richard's hamburgers and hot dogs. I mean, that's my favorite part. So.
We had a great response to media services helped us with some cutouts where we had the police and fire. You saw it on the film, and those were extremely popular.
They had one with the mayor. Was that there this year? I can't remember.
Flat Sammy did attend.
He did attend, Flat Sammy. He's actually lost a little bit more weight. We might need to send that one.
Thank you.
But anyways, thank you, Beth. Appreciate it. Houston is also with us tonight. Houston Schnell from Mountford Point Marine Association. He's going to give us a report on the bike run.
That's all right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to give you the report on the bike run. As you know, it was scheduled for the 23rd of August. We were concerned that the weather was not going to hold for us. We managed to get all of the riders out on the road before any rain came down. So some of them came back a tad wet, but they said they had a good time. Okay, we paid a lot of attention to attendance because our objective this year was to push the event outside of the area to see if we could get more people to come into the Jacksonville area. So this time around, we had 57 bikes to register with us. We had representatives from 15 clubs that were in attendance that particular morning. We had non-clubs, 22 riders. We know we had people to come in from the Virginia area specifically for this event. So we know that the push we put on to get the word outside of Jacksonville did happen. We set out to do what we do, which was get people to stay overnight. We set up arrangements with the Hampton, Econo Lodge, and Super 8 to house people, but as you can see by the numbers, everybody chose to stay other places. And again, one of the things we ran into, particularly with our biking environment, since they didn't know what the weather was, a lot of them were not inclined to make reservations way in advance. So we know we have to try to sort out something, again, I don't know what we do with the weather or whatever, so that they will be more confident in pre-registering for the events, and hopefully they will show. Again, we're already looking forward to 2015. What we want to do is, and we had 2 other events to go on this year as part of the Mountford Point Marine Day celebration. We had a golf tournament that went on that Friday morning, and we also had a Congressional Gold Medal ceremony where the organization presented the Congressional Gold Medal to the families of deceased Mountford Pointers. We believe if we tie the 3 of those events together and turn that into an event where golfers come in for the golf tournament, families for the ceremony, and then tie the bike ride on as an extra, that we could actually turn that into a cultural event that we will probably see a definite increase in people coming in and staying over. We do know that a number of those folks on my chart that stayed over were people that were in for the golf tournament, and some were actually here for the ceremony on that Friday morning. So we hope to make that change and make it happen. Now we know there are a couple of things that we're going to have to do to make that happen. Early advertisement. We've learned that if we don't get out with this type of event sooner than we did in last year, people have already made their plans, they've already set their calendars, so we know that we need to start talking 2015 right now. The next thing we're going to do is take better use of social media. There's no doubt that that's going to be the least expensive way for us to reach the highest number of individuals, and we're gearing up to do that through our chapter web page, national web page, and those other resources that we have to us to actually reach out to people coming up to next year. And the third thing that we want to do is we want to make a move toward diversity. We want to grow this into a cultural event where everybody is interested in Mountford Point Marine Day. We don't want to tie it to an ethnic event, okay? As you understand, the history of Mountford Point was built around segregation. What we want to build this event around is, and I put the monument piece in, you see where the yellow is? Mm-hmm. Okay, that indicates that's the area where everybody had to come together. The Marines, the base, the town, and that's where change took place. So everybody has something in common, and that's what we want to build this weekend around. Not so much, we don't want to forget the history, but by the same token, we want to make this about something that everybody has a reason to be involved in, and hopefully we can grow the numbers for the event. So that's our goal as an organization with this particular weekend. And that's my report.
Thank you. Any questions?
Houston, I'm very impressed with what, not only what you've done so far, but how you've put it together and the direction that you seem to be going in. So I'm very pleased to see that.
Okay, and I forgot to tell you one thing. As a result of the weekend, we were able to contribute $3,000 to the monument, to the Mount Point Monument.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Houston. Riverwalk Palooza, Betty Sanders.
And while she's coming up, we'll tell you we also have a little video for this that we'd like to show
Okay.
you.
Thank you for that fine video.
Thank you.
Thank you all again for your support this year. We really appreciate it. We hope we complimented Jacksonville and made the city proud of the successful event we had this year. We brought over 8,000 people downtown into the New River. Senator Harry Brown opened the event again as kind of a tradition with us. And of course, we wouldn't be Jacksonville if we didn't do that famous national anthem of ours. And Janie Sutton and Jesse Hensley did that. And can I tell you, there wasn't a dry eye around. They just pull it off. We added this year the coastal fish and shrimp fry, which went over very well. We've already asked for that to come back again. People love that. Then I want to say New River, New River, New River. And I don't think I can say that enough. This year we contracted onshore surf down at Surf City to come up and do our water activities. George Howard just did an excellent job. He did the canoes, the kayaks, the stand-up paddleboarding, and then he threw like a small mini race in there. And what George was looking for was to feel his way to determine if he would be ready next year to do a sanctioned race. And from what he felt, he's already got his pattern laid out. He wants to talk to you about advertising, Teresa. I mean, he is rolling. This kid is anxious now about what we can do next year. So I was really excited about that, if we could pull that off next year. We added the New River Moonlight Cruise, which that was courtesy of the Marina Cafe Riverboat. That went over really well. Georgie Stone, the author of a couple of the New River books, she was the narrator on that. Then Mike Morrison, who is their captain of the boat, he came back on Saturday, and we ran eco cruises all day. That was very successful because thanks to the city of Jacksonville, and I believe Mr. Hargett had something to do with a couple of things there, we had 2 pontoon boats come in. And our city manager had built us like a tiki type pass. You could get your pass, board the boat at the USO, and they would taxi you down to the Old Town Marina. People like that. At the same time, we were bringing people to the opposite end of the river, getting the vendors down there more business, getting the fish fry more vendors, and then they would stroll back through the park. So that was very helpful, I thought, this year. Plus, it put people on the river, and you know, we're all about that. We love that. We had lots of new vendors this year. We had lots of out-of-town, out-of-state vendors this year. eventually we'll figure out in some of the surveys that's out now where those people actually heard about us, because we want to know that, where the advertising brought them to us. So we were real pleased about that. 5 vendors have already come to us and wanted to reserve their spot for next year. We really like that. I can't remember when I participated in an activity that so many people have come to us to help. It was absolutely amazing. The chamber did good stuff. I think I probably made the chamber a little crazy now and then. I probably made Glenn a little crazy now and then. But we were certainly humbled to see this event come off as smooth as it did, and I believe that happened because we had wonderful players at the table. And it wasn't just Bold and the New River Foundation. It was people out there like the city. Teresa, she always does a wonderful job of supporting us as well. But the chamber was there. And then to make things even better, our sports commission threw in the MCCS half marathon. There was so much going on at this event, I don't think people even knew what to expect when they got there. So we were really pleased. We appreciate your support. We hope that you find us worthy of future support as well. Thank you.
I think it's important to note that it's very important to have that collaboration and what you can achieve when people work together for a common goal.
It is.
And so I'm very pleased that took place. Board, any comments?
I do. Very excited to see the water being used the way it was. That is exciting to me because we have so much of it, and I think it could be used a lot more. The only other thing I would love to see out there is some type of a fishing tournament could be going on. Would bring so much more people. I think now with the ramp coming in and everything, but yeah.
I think it's
really
going to happen.
excited.
There's some rumblings of that in the background now, that will happen.
Great.
Betty, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Okay, next report, Marine Corps Half Marathon, and we have with us Everett Vaughn.
And we're going to have a little short video on this one, too.
Okay, thank you. Everett.
Okay. Okay. For the Marine Corps Half Marathon Flash Report, obviously for this year, just to give you an idea of where we stood, we had 1,113 registered people. We had 984 actual runners. We generally have about a 10-15% who just sign up and never run. They like the shirt, so we call them shirt runners. They do. They get the shirt, but they never show up to run. A growing demographic is we are 52% women, 48% men. That seems to be a trend in all of our races. It's either 50-50 or the women outdo the men. The men, 63% were 25 to 44, and women, 73% were 25 to 44. So you can see that trend in the demographic. 20% of the total runners lived outside the 120-mile radius. That's a good chunk of runners coming into the community. outside of that realm. Its top states were Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina, Washington. That should be Washington, D.C. I guess that's not really a state, and Florida. And the top cities were Durham, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Virginia Beach, Greensboro, and Charlotte, in D.C. And these all are directly related to us going out with the street team. We went to the, let me go into this, I'll tell you more. The trend on this from 2013 to 2014, 36% increase. From 2012 to 2014, 26%. We have a 71% increase over those 2 years. That second year in 2013 is when we started partnering with the tourism, and that's when we were able to go out to these locations. So you can see the dramatic increase. And it's hard to increase once you go from 652 to 821 to jump up to 1113. So we're showing that there's a direct correlation between us going and setting up at these expos and the people there. And what we're doing is we're building relationships. When we went to these expos, we're meeting the people that we met in Raleigh that are at the Virginia ones. They're getting to know us, they're getting comfortable with us, and they're willing to make that commitment to come down here. Some of the events we attended the Rock and Roll Raleigh in April, Run for the Warriors in July, National Night Out in August, the Rock and Roll in Virginia Beach in August, and we partnered with Riverpalooza in September. And what we did is we brought the late registration down there with the pasta dinner and packet pickup. At that registration, we did close to 30 people registering that day at the late registration fee. So that is a definite benefit and drew people down into the waterfront park. Upcoming, we have the Battleship, we have Winterfest we're going to partner with, and then we have more rock and roll in DC in March, Raleigh in April, and out in the Outer Banks also in April. This picture here is what the tent that we purchased with last year with some of the banners that we have strung up, and one of the street crews sitting there talking to the expo people. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I promised to keep it short this time.
Did you rush?
I did. I kept it short. We're putting out the survey, and so we'll have more of where they stayed and economic impact from that. We'll be sending that out to all the runners, as well as asking for testimonials and stuff that we can use for future promotions.
It was a great event. I know you guys felt it. Melody?
Yeah, I know for sure we had at least 15 rooms because they asked us to open the breakfast early, which we didn't think about. They wanted to open at 4:30, so we did it.
That's late. That's late. 4:30 I had out of my day.
So, it was, and that's the way we could tell because they really weren't, we didn't know it coming in. We couldn't keep a count coming in, but it's good to see.
And one of the things we did also was we gave back sheets to a lot of the hotels that we were at. We ran around with copies and stuff as people checked in. Gave them the night's activities and as well as the days. And we plan on doing the same thing this year, is to go out and just promote what we can. You saw the finish line that we used that we branded. We'll brand that with each of the individual races, as well as got the tourism logo as well as the Eagle Globe and Anchor on it. So it kind of gives that feel. And we added the Marine Corps, the Marines in their Delta blues.
That was a great event.
And they were
So thank
popular.
you.
So the room information will be forthcoming
Yes,
later on?
yes, I get that
More
directly
detailed
from
report.
the runners themselves, because
Right.
like Melody said, a lot of them won't, even when I go to races, when I check in, I don't tell them why I'm there. So, you just go.
Ken and I were the T-shirt runners.
Okay. Well, thank you. I have an extra medal when I get to one of those.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Everett.
No
I'm
problem.
waiting for the mile walk.
There you go.
That's next year, we're adding 1 mile.
All right, next on the agenda is the Marine Corps Half Marathon Expo that was as part of this. Ashley is with us today. Thank you, Ashley. No video?
No video for this because it was included in
I've
the
got one
others.
coming later though, so don't
Okay.
worry.
Yeah, she's got a
Um,
video.
Ideas for hotels, just because Everett and I have both been in these situations, have to go breakfast bags for them. You just throw a bagel, fruit, and something to drink, and then you don't have to wait for them.
Ready, but
Like
yeah,
a
that's a
group.
good idea.
We had to make them early though, so.
Yeah, it's annoying, but
That's a good problem.
it could be worse. Well, we partnered with Marine Corps Community Services as well as New River Palooza on the expo. We had 13 vendors that came out. We did pull from the Wilmington market with Tri-Sports. Battleship was there, and then a lot of local vendors. We already have 100% buy-in from them for next year's event if we choose to move forward and get that partnership. They had nothing but glowing remarks about the whole entire event, how well it was ran, how, what great response they were having from the runners. So again, they're all on board, as well as we have a handful of still national vendors that just needed more time to prepare for this type of event, but are on board. So we could easily double in size with next year's events. As far as the runners themselves, they were very, very pleased. We had a few that for some reason wanted to compare us to Disney. And we're a little disappointed that we weren't Disney. And I told them, I'm really sorry, you've got the wrong state when you're thinking of Jacksonville. However, having the Marines there, we did have people taking advantage of the pictures and the massage, coastal massage and wellness. I don't think I saw an empty chair. Someone was always in the wings waiting to sit down, do acupuncture or stretch out or something. So it was very interesting. I will say too, having been part of the festival, we had more runners coming in with other vendor bags. Scentsy was a popular one. They were telling me which Scentsy lady to go to as well. So all in all, we couldn't have asked for a better event. And we thank the city TDA for allowing us to kind of dip into our funds where needed to put that event together, get it up and off the ground. I have no reason to think that in 3 years this couldn't be a major revenue source for the Sports Commission, and even stronger partnership with MCCS in the Grand Prix Series.
Good news. Any comments? Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Staying?
Yeah.
Or am I leaving?
I think so. Be fine.
Do you want me to stay seated?
Yes, you may see.
Can I stay right here?
Thank you, Ashley. If I can ask Carmel and Teresa, I'm going to shift the agenda a little bit because we've got some voting issues that we need to go ahead and get on with, and then we'll have your report here before we leave. Next order of business is going to be the item number 7, Tourism Development Fund, the Rock for Vets. Glenn?
This is indeed an application that came in as a result of our wonderful Teresa Beecham. She brought these people to us to expose us to this opportunity that would provide benefit to our lodging facilities instead of to an adjacent county. So with that said, the organizers have been met with. We have confidence in their ability to operate this event. It is scheduled as a benefit concert, and it is scheduled for November the 12th and 16th. There is an extraordinary possibility of several overnight stays as a result of this. We do think this to be an incubation event. These people have much larger ideas, and they have pulled this off in the past. This is not their first time, so we have great belief in this. Because of the 2-day event and our standard that we have used for events that tend to span like this with this attendance, your staff is recommending $12,000 be approved for marketing.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Okay. We will need action. We'll do it individually. We'll do the rotary speckled trout as a separate item. So if the board's wishes are to consider the request, please.
I make a motion to allocate $12,000 for the marketing and promotion of the Rock 4 Vets event, contingent on completion of the necessary procedures, a completed contract, and presentation of all required materials, which is as we require from everybody.
Okay. I have a motion
Second.
and I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next order of business is going to be the rotary speckled trout shootout.
And the woman in black
Do you
with the-
shoot the trout, or?
Yeah,
how do
we'll
you-
find
how does
out
it work?
because the woman in black with pearls is also a representative of this event. This event also came to us as a result of Ashley, and it's set for November the 22nd. And we're really excited to say this is likely to be the inaugural event for the Jacksonville Landing. We are a little delayed in the construction of that. Some will note that that precipitation has not helped the construction to advance. But we feel comfortable by November 22nd that we'll have that thing ready to go. And so Ashley's event here with the Rotary Speckled Trout Shootout would be the first event that would be held there. We have confidence in the ability of the organization to operate this event, and so the staff's recommendation is that you consider an allocation of $6,000 that would be used for marketing of this event.
Okay. Before I ask for a motion, Glenn or Ashley, is this an event that you feel will continue to grow and potentially bring out-of-town
Yes.
participants?
Absolutely. And the great thing about this one actually is the tournament itself goes on the 22nd, but there's a mandatory captain's meeting on the 21st. So if you're coming in from out of town, you have to be there for the 6 o'clock captain's dinner, and that goes over the rules. So that automatically pretty much guarantees that you're going to get the hotel nights out of it. We took a year off from this event. But in the past, we have had people come in from Virginia, from South Carolina, from Charlotte for this. So this is just the first time that we've actually presented it out, and mainly because honestly, I wanted to showcase the Jacksonville Landing and this fundraising chair for Rotary. There you go.
Thank you.
Which is a trout shootout?
There's no
I asked and
shooting.
now you're helping me out.
It's 2-person teams that go out. It's a fishing tournament. So when you were talking about it, there's your fishing tournament. But we do have really great speckled trout that kind of go throughout the rivers. They're allowed to launch from any deck or any ramp that they want. However, the actual weigh-in is going to be at Jacksonville Landing, as well as the captain's meeting.
Go ahead, Mel.
The neat thing is usually on the fishing tournaments, they come in sometimes weekends before.
Yeah,
You
to
know,
try it first.
yeah, they have to find their spots and everything. So
Yep.
it's not only a one-day event. They
Get that
spend a
breakfast
lot
ready.
of time and 4:30 in the morning.
They'll be
Yeah, they do. They get up early and go to bed early.
Now, which Rotary Club is this?
The Jacksonville, it's the Tuesday 1 o'clock. The main
The
Jacksonville
afternoon one.
Rotary.
Caucus Rotary.
Caucus Rotary, yeah, there you go. Everything relates back to caucus somehow.
Okay, board, I'll need a motion to entertain this, please.
I move that we consider the allocation of $6,000 for the same criteria as the previous one.
Okay, have a motion?
Second?
And a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ernie, you're being awful quiet today. I'm concerned.
He's not a fisherman.
Oh, is that what it?
Trout's not my favorite.
Okay. Okay, next order of business, well, thank you, Ashley, appreciate it. Next order of business is strategic session outflow. Glenn?
Indeed, in your document, as we prepared for you at your last meeting, was the summary of what you had accomplished as a result of the meetings and the testimony that you heard. And there were 5 specific tasks that came out of that strategic visioning session that you had there. One, that we needed to give an empirical result of the evidence of unique visitors to our community, and that study is underway. We have a draft that we're reviewing now, and we hope to have that to you shortly. Also, there needed to be evidence of destination need. That is to say that we needed to show what type of activity would generate overnight stays in Jacksonville lodging facilities as to what that best activity would be. And then we wanted to consider from that result what would be the best destination, facility, or otherwise that would be constructed to help advance those the use of that as a destination and generate those overnight stays. The outs of this also came from the recommendation from the head of the state's tourism and from other testimony that you heard, was that we needed our own website. We've had great collaboration with Teresa Carter and Laurette and such there, so we're going to be doing this in concert with them. There's going to be a lot of back and forth between the two areas there. And we needed to have a document that detailed what city visitor particular activities were friendly to our visitors there that would be a part of this. And so consequently, that was the list that you agreed to give the staff to get done. And right now, we bring to you the action steps for both tasks 2 and 3. And in consideration of that, we're recommending to you that you do the strategic study, and that this study be actually commissioned to look at these options that we're going to present to you, one of these options that we're presenting to you. And option one would be sports focused with other potential uses listed. And this would be that we would have an actual study done as to the marketability of these potential sports uses, and would provide an intensive investigation of what activities would be marketable for our community, and then recommend a type of facility that would best accommodate and expand those activities. We want to build on the experience of a firm, though, that would have a superior reputation to perhaps list for us some other options that might be good to have in the community. I think it's naive of us not to think that if it was an enclosed facility of some type, that a Marine Corps ball being there at some point in time in the month of November is a given. So we don't need to pay them to tell us that part. We've got that one, but if you could help us with the list, we've got this. Option two is it's going to be sports focused with other uses investigated. And just as the option one, it now expands those other uses and does provide an empirical study of what could be the marketability of those other uses that could be housed in such a facility. And option three is pretty much open-ended. It says find whatever events, be they sport or other activities, that would be the best to provide for overnight stays, and then recommend a facility that would maximize that and increase the marketability for those types of activities as it was. And while we don't have a specific target in mind for this, we're being open about what the study would potentially cost and what it is. We did reach out to try to find out what type of interest was there, and some of this generates from some suggestions that were made to us. We had some industry lobbyists make some suggestions to us as to the types of firms that we might want to consider. And so we've identified 6 firms and received back information from all of them that this would fall, particularly option 1 or 2 would fall within what they could do in a quick manner. It would take a little longer to do option 3 for them within this time. So, Mr. Chairman, we present to you for the decision of the authority as to which option you wish the staff to investigate, and any other information you wish to give us before we go forward.
Well, thank you. Okay, I'll open up the floor for discussion. Lindsay?
Particularly like option 2, definitely thinking more sports focused, especially as a hotelier. That's, sports teams come from all over. Parents invest in their children, they will stay over. So I definitely think sports focused is the way to go, and to leave other options open for investigation.
Okay. Melody, any thoughts?
I think, kind of copy her. I think the sports, but it's got to be open
Sport
there.
equals money.
The city's
Whether you're
growing. We
spending
need
it out or
places
in.
for conventions and things like that. I mean, it's coming. It's going to happen. We have a couple of larger hotels opening up that will have a little bit more space, but I don't think in the long run it's going to be big enough. So I think we need to really think down the road if
Agreed.
we're going to do this.
I agree. One of the things just to keep in mind, just to throw it out on the table, as the way that this is listed on your report, not necessarily financially, but it's in that increment. 1 is going to be your least expensive, 2 is going to cost a little more, 3 obviously will cost the most. That doesn't mean it's the best one. But I think I needed to just let you know that. Ken?
Well, I've been beating this drum for about 40 years. And
How old are you?
Beat it some
more
more.
than 40, you can believe that. It's amazing that we now have the community understanding what the value of sports is economically. It's just taken a long time to get people to realize that. I think everybody around this table, or most people around this table, understand the value of sports now, and we need to stay focused on the sports aspect of this. However, there's no question that the building also needs, if it's a building, needs to have the opportunity for other options. Glenn had alluded to Marine Corps balls, and there's many other things out there. And some of them actually spill over into sports. I mean, you're talking about cheerleading and some of these other things. So I like option number 2 if we're going to focus on one.
Okay. Bernie, any comments?
Well, yeah, I
Value,
think
sorry.
option 2 leads for more expansion. Someone mentioned that you have to look toward the future. For example, you know, there may be some aquatic events or some other different type of sports events that we've never even considered. And I just think that with option 2, you're looking at your basic sports, but then you're looking in the future for 20 years down the road, can you expand to something else that could draw? And I like the idea of conventions being able to come here, groups that can sponsor weekend conventions. It could be fraternities, sororities, it could be bike clubs, it could be a whole bunch of anything. So you have a convention center that can deal with that in addition to sports. So I think option 2 would probably be, in my opinion, the best choice and best start.
Fanny?
Likewise, because we'll talk about things for the city, and then a lot of times big conventions could not come here because we had no space. So I think that option 2 would give us the advantage over and then have more things coming into the city and the county.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I agree, and I too have been in sports for a long time, and I've seen what other communities have done and how important sports and economic development are so closely related and to bringing a significant amount of dollars to a community. And we heard from Ashley from the Sports Commission, and your insights were wonderful, because that was a testament to what we're not getting and what we could be getting. So I think that has to be the first focus, because at the end of the day, you can have a wonderful facility, but you need to pay for it. And so I think we need to keep that in the front of our heads, because that's extremely important. And I think sports can do that. But then if we do our homework and pick the right firm to do the proper research, and we can potentially design a facility that could have other uses as a result of that, then it's a win-win. But we know at the end of the day that the primary purpose of the facilities would be taken care of by the sports activities that it may draw. That's important for me. As a community leader, you know, we have to think about what is it, where does the money come from, and how do we pay for it, and how does that impact the citizens in our community. So I think we're in the right direction, and I too am in favor of looking at a concise report that can give us that detailed information, in which we already have some of that information through Ashley's local report of what she gets from day to day, or the opportunities that may come her way that we're not able to facilitate. I know that in my years of soccer, you know, state cup tournaments, they're huge, they're significant, just in that sport alone. And we were able to get a couple times some state tournaments here where we used multiple fields, and it was huge success. But certainly tons of room to grow for the bigger events. And I know if you've been in soccer, the Raleigh Shootout, I mean, that event alone is like a $4 million weekend. It's unbelievable. And I can name 20 others that are no different. And people will travel for sports. And, you know, volleyball, cheerleading, pickleball, you know, we can go on and on. And so as a community, I'm very pleased that we finally have acknowledged sports as an economic industry for our community, because it is, and it's real. And so I'm glad that we're at this point. It's taken a long time, but everything's about timing. And I think the timing is right. We have the support, and, you know, for the hoteliers and the restaurateurs and the retail merchants in the community, it's a win-win for everybody. And we all know that. We have history, we have data that proves that. It's not hypothetical. So we will need a motion.
Well, Mr. Chairman,
your desires.
before we make a motion, I would share this information with you that Mr. Hemingway called me last night and knew he wouldn't be able to be here today and discussed this issue with me. And he also would like to go on record as saying that he supports option number 2 as well. So I wanted
Great.
to let everybody